evening, everyone. This caucus meeting of the City Council of Maple Heights is being called to order at 6:30 on December 3rd, 2025. Clerk, please call the roll.
Jeanette. Jones. Present. Tatum.
Here.
Anderson.
President.
Madden.
Present.
Stafford Marbury. Present. Agee. Present. Jackson.
Right on time.
Standing outside the door. Tina Stafford Marbury has the pledge and the invocation. We do have a couple of communications. We also have a couple of special presentations. Turning to the legislation.
Council President.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
sir.
So for the communications, two of them are from Liquor, Division of Liquor. And Chief and I had talked, we're not recommending that you request a hearing. One was for the Family Dollar renewal, and one was for
Mini Mart.
yeah,
Maple Mini Mart.
Maple Mini Mart. So we're not requesting that you request a hearing. Okay?
Okay. Ordinance 2025-90, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a professional service municipal engineering consulting contract with engineer Matthew Jones and assistant engineer Ed Wren and James Sheehan and their engineering firm, Green Valley Engineering. This is on its third reading. Mr. Wren did come in Monday, committee of the whole meeting and discuss this. Anyone have any questions, any further questions on this tonight? Okay, we will be voting on 90. Ordinance number 2025-91, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept and enter into a subscription order form and a one-year service agreement from January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026 with Online Solutions LLC. For 11 users to access and use the CitiServe software in the building department, including setup, training, implementation, and data migration at a total cost of $27,299.98, with annual service fee of $19,800 thereafter, and to accept the grant from First Suburbs Consortium in the amount of $27,299.98 to cover the cost of the first year of the service agreement. This ordinance is also on its third reading. Is there any questions concerning? We will be voting on that tonight. Uh, 92 through 101 are all transfers. That's going to be discussed at the finance meeting. All of those are on second reading. Moving to 102. Ordinance number 2025-102, ordinance determining that Fund 736 is dormant and not needed for municipal purposes, and authorizing the closure of Fund 736 and directing the finance director to transfer the balance of these monies in Fund 736 to the general fund. Our interim finance director was at the committee of the whole Monday and discussed this too. No other questions? We'd like to move this along and vote on this tonight. Hearing none.
Hold on one second. One second,
Good.
Council President, 1 second, I'm sorry.
Councilman Shinet.
Once we was just trying to, get a better understanding, now, Frank, explained this at the last meeting, and why we can legally do, take funds that were dormant and use it for city purposes. Now, I was clear on that, that's why I didn't ask for that to go to the finance committee, but I wanted to make sure my colleagues were clear on that.
Anyone have any questions on 102?
I don't have any questions. I was clear with what Attorney Consuelo stated, but I would like to sit in the finance committee myself, because I do have some additional possible questions that I would rather have it in the finance.
That's right. Attorney Consuelo.
So, Councilwoman, we asked the finance director your question, what would happen if somebody came back later and said, oh, wait a minute, you owe me money? And he answered that. I don't know if they communicated that to you, but he could answer that again for you right now, if that's your question.
Well,
Council President?
Councilman.
Yes, Frank, I would like for the finance director to.
Yeah.
Kennedy, take the mic, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Just so everybody's clear, what we said in the Finance Committee meeting, we'll set up a provision in the general fund for refunds that'll be restricted in an amount that we'll come up with an estimate for, and that money will be appropriated and only used in the event that somebody presents a claim to the city next year, on next year's budget, for a refund of any monies held on deposit. There has been no activity in that fund for about 10 years. I did talk to representatives of the Auditor of State, and they agreed with the direction we're taking. And the biggest thing is to get that money into the general fund where it can be used, as opposed to just sitting in a bank somewhere, and it can't be appropriated for anything other than that. But we will make a provision in the budget that'll get presented to you to have a separate line item for refunds for these things. And in the event somebody does present a claim, we will pay it promptly. But right now there's a little over $310,000 in that fund, so that money will help increase the general fund balance going into next year. That'll support some of the increases in labor costs, medical insurance, those types of things.
Councilwoman Stafford Marbury.
so if you're saying we're not going to use it, but then you're saying it will help us to pay some of these other funds, then we're using it, right?
I'm sorry, Councilwoman, it'll go into the general fund, so it'll only be used as council appropriates. But it'll be available for appropriation, whereas right now it's not.
And Mr. Kennedy, are you talking about putting all of the money in there? You said, I thought it was going to put part of the money in that separate fund for refunds if it's
We would
required.
put all the money into the general fund,
Mhm.
but then we would appropriate in the budget for next year a portion of that in the event of, so it'll just be classified as refunds, and that'll be restricted, so we can't use that money for anything else. That guarantees if somebody does produce a valid claim, that we will have the support, both in cash and appropriation, to pay that claim.
Anyone else?
Have to put the. There's no.
Pleasure of council. If you want to discuss it. Thank you, got it. That's on 02. Turning to 03, 103. Ordinance providing a high deductible health insurance plan with healthcare savings account and establishing contribution amount to the HSA account for non-bargaining unit city employees for the calendar year beginning January 1, 2026.
Chair,
This is on this first reading. Councilman Shinet.
I'd like to co-sponsor.
Hearing no objections, I'd like to move this along and vote on it tonight. Thank you. Twenty 104 ordinance providing for amendment for the annual appropriation for the fiscal year 2025. This is on its first reading. Ordinance providing for the authorization and finance director to submit to the county fiscal office a temporary appropriation budget for the current expenditures and other expenditures for the city of Maple Heights for the first 3 months of fiscal year 2026. This will be on first reading. Ordinance fixing the salary and wage schedule for non-bargaining unit city employees for 2026. It's on its first reading. Ordinance number 2025-107, ordinance amending section 1620.01 of the city's fire prevention code concerning adoption of the 2025 edition and future editions of the Ohio Fire Code. I see Chief walk in. Chief, would you like to address this, please?
Is that the chief? Yeah. Do you think Vito came back for a second?
Something new has been added.
That's right. Sometimes you gotta change it up every once in a while, you know? All right, so thank you for your consideration of 2025-107. So in the city's fire prevention code, we always adopt the Ohio Fire Code. It is the base fire code all over across the state. We are allowed to have our own code that goes above and beyond it, but that is the foreword of what we use. So we always identify the Ohio Fire Code as the fire code for the city. Our past language has always adopted each edition as it came out, so they update those every 5 years. The fire marshal announced that it was just recently approved for the state of Ohio, so the 2025 version of the Ohio Fire Code is in effect. At the suggestion of Attorney Consolo, we're asking to just amend the language that we have in our fire prevention code just to adopt each code as it becomes available every 5 years. Just so, I mean, it really is a formality because the fire code by the Ohio Revised Code is the floor of what we use in the city anyway. So that's essentially what we're asking for here, not just saying let's adopt the 2025 edition, let's adopt 2025 and each edition that comes out, every 5 years.
Any questions from anybody on 107? Councilman Stafford Marbury, I see your hand. Oh, okay. Hey, hearing no objections, would like to vote on this tonight? Thank you. Chief, while you're up there, we have a late addition to the agenda.
Yeah, if you want me, did you want me to address that now?
Yes.
If you mind, I want to run back and grab my notes on that.
Okay.
Just so I have the correct information.
Absolutely. So 2025-110, you should have got that in front of your desk. necessary.
I do appreciate you considering this late addition. It's kind of a quick moving process, so it's not something I want to drop in your lap, but I do want to take a moment just to kind of explain what's going on here. If you remember, late last year, you guys, as we normally do, we put in for the FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant, which is for firefighting equipment. And recently, I can't remember if it was September or October, we were actually awarded that grant, and that was for the portable radios that we were looking for. So this ask is not to change that amount of what we're looking for. What's going on is our vendor, Motorola, has a, I want to call it a Black Friday special, but it's a special going on, and that special actually expires on December the 10th. So essentially, the quote that they gave us through the state of Ohio, contract that they're allowed to do, it actually will save us about $20,000 with the grant. So according to FEMA, unused grant funds can be used for other high priority items that they have on our list. So our intent is to use that for, I believe that we can probably use that for next year, some firefighting turnout gear that we will be needing to replace or give new employees as they come aboard. So we want to take advantage of this opportunity to have this discounted price. So this is not a purchase order, but they're also not looking for just a handshake agreement on this. This is just an agreement to move forward with the purchase. They won't actually be able to fulfill the radios until probably February, more realistically March of next year. Once we actually receive the radios is when we would actually get invoiced on them. So we don't want to carry a 2025 expense over to 2026. So we would still be able to have a 2026 purchase order on these items. This just allows us to get the price and let them move forward.
And also this says, notice to proceed letter on or before December 10th, 2025. That's why it's kind of critical that we hear this tonight.
Yeah, so we did a request for that purpose, the emergency clause on this, which would allow us to execute that agreement as soon as possible for the public good.
Any questions? So we will bring this up for a vote tonight. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Returning to resolution number 2025-108, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Carpenter Marty Transportation to provide professional services and engineering services as required to prepare and file the plat dedication portion of real property that is owned by the city through its land reutilization program to be dedicated for use as public right of way. I'm sorry. Permanent parcel 781-03-013 and 781-03-014 on McCracken Road, and permanent parcel number 781-03-087 on Green 067 on Greenhurst Drive for the Greenhurst Drive Bridge demolition project and declare an emergency. This is on this first reading, but Mr. Brent came in again on the committee of the whole meeting on Monday and explained all of this to him. Hearing no objections, we'd like to vote on this tonight. Thank you. Councilman Tatum? Resolution 2025-109, the resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Senior Transportation Connection and to conduct the day-to-day call center scheduling, dispatching operations of the city Senior transit operations for the calendar year 2026 in the amount of, no, that's not right, $300,000? $3,333.33 per month. Director Hazenall? See that?
Yes. Good evening. So basically, we've been with STC, we've had the same contract for 20 years. We partnered with them from the get-go. Every year, the contract has been under 25,000. It's just gone up. So this year, after all this time, we are the only municipality that operates the way we do with STC. So there's just a few changes as far as the price having to go up. They're gonna take over dispatching, but it'll still be our drivers. So we're moving towards a direction to be more potentially outsourcing in the future. That's for a broader discussion. So it's kind of incremental steps here to, as we've partnered with STC for the last 20 years, so. Any questions?
Any questions?
You meant
Councilwoman Stafford
2,500?
Marbury?
Sorry, you meant 2,500?
No. If the contract has been this year it was just under 25,000. So this is a monthly cost, which is gonna go up to just under
Okay.
40,000
Okay,
on
gotcha.
the contract. So it's almost a $15,000 increase.
Yeah, the yearly is $39,999.96.
Thank you.
Chair,
Councilman Shinet?
I had asked this at the committee of the whole meeting. Jamie, how many drivers do we currently have?
One just retired, he moved out, so we are down to 4 complete. 4 total drivers, yes.
4 total.
Mhm.
Any other questions? There are no objections. I'd like to vote on this tonight. Okay, thank you.
Chair,
Councilman Shinet?
yeah, I'd like to co-sponsor, please.
And that was 109, and we did 110 earlier, so that will be our legislation. Then we do have one thing on the list of expenditures. That'll be on our agenda tonight. Any questions? Hearing none, this caucus will end at 6:54.
So we didn't discuss, so 110 is going to be the agenda, right? I don't need a motion. So 110 is just going to be considered an agenda. I don't need a motion. I don't need a motion to amend it.